It's a bit of a nothing start to the crypto market this week. Nothing notable happening. We didn't close above 74,000. We didn't close beneath the lows either. None of those lows were hit, targeted. So interesting spot, still in no man's land, but no urgent action required. I'm going to show you a few things today, which I think you need to be across. And also I'm going to show you a release of like a macro update for portfolio and also liquidity, which I want to share with you in a sec. This is interesting. So we know that the US government releases jobs figures, other figures, to play up to the masses, and then further down the line, they revise things. Now, this was a jobs report. They have revised down by 1 million positions. That is insane. Look, I don't think markets would like this at all if they were open in traditional markets. Bitcoin being the only market open at the moment, potentially impacted Bitcoin's run towards 71,000. I'm speculating there. There could be a link correlation, but in the US right now, there is a public holiday. So we're not going to be able to see traditional markets, how they open until Tuesday at the earliest when the futures markets open. I'm not sure how the futures markets operate when there is a public holiday. It could open up a little bit earlier than I think, but suffice to say, with crypto and traditional markets, we're still in a holding pattern for another day, which means we've got an extra day of low liquidity when nothing's happening. So there is that chance we do drop down to the lows if that's the case. If we can hold strong here, pretty good showing that that crypto might have a good week. So Bitcoin, again, rubbish close, but still in no man's land. This is on the weekly. You can see we're still a fair way off from the 200-week moving average, 58,000. We're at 68,000, so nice spot to be, but we're just grinding out the lows. We're doing no different than, I guess, what we hypothesize is probably the most likely path here. We just chop around and build our way out of it. So the 10 EMA on the daily is providing some pretty serious resistance here. So my squiggles just roll a bit higher. That's how I inevitably think this could play out. But if we lose this higher low here at 65,000, so that was the dip, really nice dip to buy, had that little bounce there, building this little right shoulder, hopefully can pop up here above 74 the coming week. But if we do lose that 75, that's where we aggressively cut, I think. So 65 down to 62, while you think that's probably a good buy zone, if we lose the higher low, then the continuation's likely on. So then I'd really start to get interested really when we see the reaction from 62 down to 58. I think any in the 50s I would be buying, but I do want to see the reaction at these lows before get too aggressive, because you lose a higher low, the rollover can get into the mid 50s, if not a little bit lower. If I'm looking at Pax Gold and Bitcoin, if you were to look in isolation the gold chart and isolation the Bitcoin chart, they are the exact inverse of one another. Bitcoin is ramming into support, bang, 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 hugely oversold on that one side. Gold, on the other hand, is ramming into overhead resistance or all-time highs, vertical, doing wick, wick, wick. So this is why these jaws closing make a lot of sense at some point. Now, if gold cannot break through this level here, this is against Bitcoin, that 0.75 region, if gold can't get up there and get a weekly close, I've gone down to the daily for a bit more nuance here, but if gold can't get up to these levels, and I might just bring the RSI just to see what the go is, because I'm suspecting here as well that there is a bearish divergence brewing. So there is. So the bulls are losing steam here, and if they can't move high, and even if they do, you've got to watch out, because there could be 3 peaks and 3 lower highs on the RSI. So gold, I think, guys, we need to be very attuned to having a tighter risk management strategy around gold, because this thing can really move south pretty quick against Bitcoin, but again also against USD. USD, I think, is probably a little bit more, I don't want to say strong because it's not, but it's holding better. Drifting towards 50 on the RSI, that's still okay. Ultimately, gold on the USD chart wants to get above 51.50, and Pax, I think gold is going to have a hard time of it, particularly if Bitcoin is bottoming. Again, it's going to be so much easier for Bitcoin to move higher against gold versus gold to continue moving higher against Bitcoin.